The history of science, Goethe said once, is science itself. See, science cannot be done without also doing its history. And history of science cannot be done without also doing science because of the simple reason that both go after the problems that interest science. Without the problems of science, there can be neither science nor its history. Science is not an accumulation of facts. History of science is not an accumulation of facts about scientists or about facts of science about social circumstances that may connect the two. You know, in both philosophy and history of science, it has become very fashionable to talk about the social circumstances that create the environment of the scientists and their thinking, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I would be too arrogant if I said this, but I can't stop myself. I will say it. You know, it's bullshit. I mean, you know, I wrote a paper once just to show this. The melange concept in geology, never mind what it is, it has been independently discovered 5 times. Once in Scotland, once in Turkey by a Turk working in impossible conditions during the war, then by a Chinaman working in California, and we know that there were 2 episodes earlier that nobody talks about by the Swiss in the Alps, all independent of each other. They all came to the same conclusions. And you ask these so-called social scientists, you say, look, this Chinaman, Ken Shu, was raised in breeding Yangtze. His social environment had absolutely nothing to do with our social environment, right? And he thought exactly the same things as did Greenlee, who was a very stout and religious Scotsman, and the same thing as this poor Turkish graduate student whose world was worlds apart from either the Scotsman or the Chinaman. They thought exactly the same things, came exactly to the same conclusions, because they were looking at exactly the same phenomenon. So it is hypotheses that drive you, but what eventually links the hypothesis into what we hope to be the reality, it is the tests with observation. And that's what distinguishes us.